Hi, this is Nick Holmes from Paradise Lost and you're watching Loud TV. Yeah, we did it. Gomez, he's moved his studio from the city. He was in Barnet in London, North London. He's moved it up further north into the countryside near Milton Keynes. And it's in the middle of nowhere, the barn where the studio is. And he's got a really good drum room there. And yeah, but it was the same thing. You know, he's into really organic sounds, really kind of classic rock production, rock guitars. You know, classic, the old sounds. Not too much effects, no samples on the drums, no loops, anything like that. So yeah, it's a very organic. There's no backing tracks particularly. It's just very organic. Just the guys playing basically, you know. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's literally like that. It's in the middle of a rapeseed field. It's literally just like this little shack, and he's soundproofed it all. He's spent a fortune on the soundproofing and the studio, and it's like you know, it's done like an old, real kind of classic studio from the 80s. You know, these really kind of plush studios. But he's got all the top gear, but he's just really into his, you know, his old sounds and his old equipment. So yeah. I mean, the song Beneath Broken Earth on the last album was a kind of catalyst for this album, because we wrote that song and it was very kind of natural, and it felt good to do that style again, which we haven't done for a very, very long time. So it kind of excited us to do it again. We played it live, and live it's always good. So we thought, oh, let's just do more of this, and it was that kind of simple, you know, that very old school feel, and it's a lot more riffy, a lot more riff oriented. I mean, in many respects, it's a bit like Shades of God, as in it's very riff oriented, and but obviously the production's kind of like here now, whereas those albums are productions there. So it's got the big sound. Yeah, it's very loud. Yeah, I mean the last one is quite loud as well, but it is loud. Yeah. So you know, he's done a great job. He's done a really good job with it. You know, we're very happy with it. So it's got to be heavy, hasn't it? It's got to be loud.
Why not?
It's got to be. He kind of got back into the past, and he started listening to death metal again and enjoying it as a fan, and getting a new breed of death metal bands. And I think that's a big turning point for him, as in, you know, he started getting more into his guitar, and Valenfire obviously has really got him back into it. And yeah, I think it's been a positive impact, and it's definitely had an impact on Paradise Lost, as you can hear on the new album, you know, for sure. So yeah, I mean, when I joined Bloodbath, I started listening to death metal again and all as well, because you kind of just remember what you liked about it, and then once you get back into it, it's kind of quite natural to sing like that as well. So it's you know, everything's kind of happened over years. It's not like overnight. You know, it's the things, because people talk about, it's nothing like the 1 second, but 1 second was 20 years ago. It's a long space of time between things happening. So. But people talk like it's like a blink of an eye. It's like, no, it's a lifetime. You know, 30 years we've been going soon, so it's a hell of a long time. So. I don't know. You know, I'm sure our manager will think of something for us to do. Skydiving maybe. I don't know. We could. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm sure we'll do something. We'll probably get drunk at some point. That usually happens, even if there isn't an anniversary. So. The title is what it is because it's a very untypical Paradise Lost title. I mean, I personally wouldn't choose that. I wouldn't think, okay, Medusa. But when I saw it written down, because Greg chose it as a working title for a song, when I saw it written down, I thought I really like that as a title. But then I had to justify it, so I looked online at the deeper meaning behind it, and there's like a nihilist viewpoint of that Medusa was not looking in the eyes of the Gorgon, is like not admitting the horrible things in the world, and I thought that's a very kind of poetic thing that I may have wrote myself, and it was just that line. I thought, yeah, that justifies the title. So it was like a metaphorical thing, and that's that's all it was, you know, and that's why we call it Medusa. Well, with the harder voice, you can kind of say longer words, and everything doesn't have to rhyme. You know, you don't have to rhyme as much with the death metal singing. When it's cleaner, everything has to rhyme, and it's kind of harder to explore the dictionary more. But with the growl, you can use grander words, you can use more syllables. You know, it's kind of easy to write lyrics like that, and it's more fun as well. You can use bigger words, I think. Yeah, themes. I mean, you know, I'm very obviously very anti-religion. Always have been anti-religion, and just exploring what makes people do things they do, and everything's based around the fear of dying. Basically, everything is always about people scared to die, and they can't explain why they die, and all this, and that never ever changes. And for everybody that says, "Oh, they should ban religion," it's never going to happen. So. Because as long as there's death, there's going to be religion. Simple as that. So, yeah, well, of course, because that's all we have. You know, we haven't got anything else. Because you know, you've just got a short space of time here, and it's about how you do and what you do, and how people around you think about what you do, and that's all we have. And then when it's finished, it's finished. That's it. It's done. So, what people choose to do in the 60, 70, or 80 years or whatever they got on this earth is always fascinating. And particularly the dark things are always fascinating. So. It's a studio called Branca Studios, a Spanish studio. They've done quite a few covers actually, but it's very kind of. We wanted it to be very sort of retro looking. It's a bit kind of 70s, but we're 70s kids, so you know why not? So, but we didn't want to have the typical Medusa. We didn't want the snakes on the head, because that was too obvious. But they're on the head, on the back, I think. But yeah, but we still wanted the snakes as well, so it was thought about. So, but yeah, I like to see images you remember. You know, if you're driving and I saw that, I would remember it, and that's. Each album we do, I always think, would you remember that? So, yeah, it wasn't exactly what I expected at first, but I've kind of really got it. I really like it now. You know, I think it's good. I like to put all the albums together and look at the different albums. They're all really, really different, and I quite like that. It's, you know, there's a lot of difference in each cover, so it's even the one with bees on it. It kind of looks okay when you put it with all the others, but it's the weirdest one. We were laughing at it the other day. We were like, "What were we doing? What was going on?" No, not at all. It's nice. It's nice. The music makes you young. It keeps you. I think it keeps you young at heart. It makes you. Yeah, I mean, we are. It's the same for all bands, all musicians. I can talk to a guy who's a musician, and he's very young at heart. It doesn't matter how old they are. You know, I've talked to guys like in their 60s, and they like talking to teenage guys. You know, and it does keep you young. Unfortunately, your body doesn't always follow the same route, so you just become decrepit and with a child's mind.
So how old are you? Your mind?
23. I'm the same age as our drummer. That's something else. We've kind of grown up watching films and listening to music that accompanies certain scenes, and I think people don't really think about the music that much when they watch stuff. But I've always really thought about the placement of music in certain things, and it's nice to listen to something and it takes you somewhere and you're imagining scenes but I mean, with this, we always like to think, you know, it's taking just like a snowy landscape, a bleak landscape, nothing, desolation, all that. And so when I'm listening to it, I'm just kind of thinking that. And obviously the lyrics, again, they've got to match that scene as well. So yeah, I mean, we really are big fans of, you know, thrill of horror, dark films, you know. I mean, Greg and myself, we watch hundreds of films a year. I mean, we are real big film fans. I mean, I watch at least 4 or 5 a week. We are massive fans of film, yeah. And we talk about movies more than anything else. Yeah, we are big fans of. I mean, most horror. I mean, the amount of horror films we've seen is insane. I mean, we have a very low threshold as well. We can watch really shit ones and still quite like them, whereas we couldn't watch it with our wives because they'd be like, "Oh, turn this rubbish off," you know. So. But yeah, I'm just trying to think of some good horror films. There's a lot of good like Korean horror films, some great Korean horror films, and a lot of Spanish horror films as well. And French as well, some really good French horror films. I think it's L'Interieur. There's one called Inside, and it's a French horror film, and that's really good horror film. You check that out. It's really, it's heavy. Well, we're going to do Australia in December, which we haven't been for a long time, and we're going to do Dubai as well. We're going to play Dubai in a month or two. I think it's quite soon. I think so. We just fly in, do one gig, and fly out. So, but yeah, no, it's always nice to play places we haven't been. You know, it'd be nice to go to South Africa, China. I don't know. We haven't been to Iceland yet with Paradise Lost, so that'd be nice to play there. So yeah, if there's an aeroplane route there, we'll go. You know, no plans yet. I hope we can get a support tour or something. That would be perfect. Doing a headline tour in America at our level is not really worth it. You can do good shows in like New York, LA, Chicago, but in the middle of America, it's a bit of a void for a band like us without supporting. You know, so. But yeah, I'm sure we will.